All right, so come down onto your back into a starfish shape. So you're gonna step your feet a little bit wide towards the outer edges of your mat. And then if it feels available in the shoulders, you're gonna reach your arms up and overhead in a nice wide position. So arms are up and a Y overhead, legs are nice and wide down at the end of your mat. And then just give your body a little time here. Give it a little wiggle of the tush, a little wiggle of the shoulders. Make sure everything feels like it's in a good position. And then take a little time to invite some softness in. Soften your belly, soften your jaw, soften your hands and your feet. And then right away notice, so if you've come into this position and this does not feel good in your shoulders and your shoulder blades and you're unable to just unwind and let those muscles relax, lower your arms a little out to your side. So find a good position that works for your shoulders. Don't sit here and suffer. Make sure everything feels happy. And then start to allow your breath to slow down, finding a gentler rhythm. And then maybe just tune in and notice. Notice your inhale and notice your exhale. And then before we become any more aware or engaged in the body, take a moment here just to set an intention to honor your mind and your body throughout your practice. Never doing anything that would cause your body pain and just treating yourself with love, care, and respect. Cool. And then with that intention set, do a little scan through your body. Notice your hands and your feet, your wrists and your ankles, your arms and your legs, your hips, your belly, your back, your chest and your shoulders, the front of your neck and the back of your neck. Notice your jaw, notice your cheekbones, and notice if you're holding any tension in your face, can you let your face soften? And then with a greater sense of awareness, just notice if there's any parts of your body that are calling attention to them, wanting a little extra love and care throughout your practice. From here, start to bring a little bit of gentle movement into your hands and your feet. So just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, mush your feet around just a little bit. Finding just a gentle bit of movement. So nothing extreme, but we just want to start to notice and feel. Notice how the bottoms of your feet feel. Notice how your hands and your fingers feel. And then maybe bring a little extra movement up into the wrists and the ankles. So wiggle your fingers and your toes, but also bring a little bit of bigger movement into the ankles and the wrist. And it doesn't have to look like anything. We just want to kind of move through the joints a little bit. And then take a big good morning stretch like a yawn. Reach through your fingers, reach through your toes. Take a nice big breath into your body. And then let your arms soften back down into that starfish position. And we're just going to pick up the right leg. So you're going to float the right leg about 2 inches off the floor and just start to notice. Notice the engagement that has to happen in your center in order for that leg to lift up nice and strong. Notice the weight of your leg. And then float that leg back down to the ground and maybe give it a little windshield wiper, just swish it a little side to side. Cool. And then let that leg come to stillness and take it over to the left leg. Pick your left leg up just about 2 inches off the ground. Notice the engagement in your center to help lift that leg up. Notice the weight of your leg. And then when you're ready, float that leg down and then maybe give it a little windshield wiper just to soothe it out. Nice. And then take it up to your right arm. So we're just going to pick the right arm up off the ground, float it up about 2 inches or so. Notice the weight of your arm. And then lower that arm back down and just give it a little soft wiggle. And then take it over to the left arm. Float that left arm up. Notice that little engagement in the armpit chest. Notice the weight of your arm. And then release that arm back down and maybe give it a little wiggle. Cool. And now we're going to slide our arms down so that they're in a cactus or goalpost position. So elbows are going to come in line with the shoulders. And then once you found your way there, take a couple of turns of your head side to side. Awesome. Take one more turn of your head side to side. And then bring your head back to center and start to walk your feet in. So now we're going to find our legs out to the outer edges of our mat with our knees bent. And then just readjust your tailbone or your low back as needed. And then start some small windshield wipers with the knees. Think super small. So like 4 or 5 inches of movement. Notice how your hips feel. Notice how your knees feel. Notice how your feet and your ankles feel. And then slowly and mindfully start to increase that range of motion. Take your time here. And then as your knees start to drop in that wider position, just notice the movement of your hips. So let your hips move with you just as much as they like. Maybe notice that little bit of engagement in your center to help move those legs side to side. Awesome. Take one more time each side or even yourself out. And then bring it back to center, float your knees in towards each other. So just a little pause and constructive rest. And then once you've got your legs in constructive rest, back up to the arms. So we're going to keep our arms in that cactus or goalpost position. And we're just going to float our fingertips up, like we're reaching our fingertips towards the ceiling or making little robot arms. And then let the backs of the hands float back down to the ground. And then lift up again. Fingertips are just going to point up towards the ceiling. And then backs of the hands to the ground. Fingertips float up. And then backs of the hands back down, and then keep the backs of the hands down. And now we're going to just glide the hands up. So reach your arms up and overhead, and then pull the elbows back down to shoulder height. Reach your arms up and overhead, and then pull the elbows down. One more just like that. Reach the arms up and overhead, and then pull the elbows back down. Nice. And now from here, we're going to float the hands down so that they're alongside the hips. Palms flip over so that they're facing down to the ground, and then step your feet in so that they're about hip width distance apart, heels maybe coming a little closer to the butt. Move right into your pelvic tilt. As you exhale, press your low back into the ground. Inhale, release to the natural curve of your back. Exhale and press your low back down. Inhale to release. And then keep that going, just staying connected with your breath's rhythm. Move at a pace that feels right to you. Take 2 more cycles of breath. Awesome. And then finding a neutral spine, we're going to float the feet up into a tabletop position. So feet are in a 90-degree bend, and then arms are going to reach up straight out to the shoulder. So into a dead bug position. And we're just going to pause in this dead bug position and tune into our center. So can you notice your abdominal muscles? Arms are stable, legs are stable. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, just draw your abdominal muscles slightly down towards your spine. Inhale a nice big breath. Exhale, draw your abdominal muscles down. One more breath here. Awesome. And then we're going to take a little movement in our dead bug. So right hand and left leg are going to extend out nice and long, and then pull it back up and in, and then switch to the other side. Left hand, right leg are going to extend out nice and long, and then pull it back up and in. And as you extend the opposite hand and opposite foot, you're going to see if you can keep the stationary hand and leg nice and stable, finding as little movement in the standing limbs as possible as you extend the other limbs out. And then just find a little rhythm here, reaching out nice and long, drawing it back in with control. Noticing the work in your center, maybe generating a little bit of warmth or heat here in your body. Beautiful. Take one more time each side or even yourself out. And then when you're ready, pull both knees into your chest, give yourself a light little squeeze, maybe a gentle rock side to side. Cool, and then hold on to your right knee, set your left foot down. We're gonna take that right knee, draw it in circles, go in one direction. Draw that knee in circles, go the other way. Awesome, and then right knee over towards the left shoulder, just slightly across the midline so you feel maybe a little sensation in the IT band or maybe down in the glute. Take a nice big breath. Nice, and then release and take it out into a wider position. So right knee towards the right shoulder, opening the hip up just a little bit. And then bring it right back in and we're gonna re-grab. So we're gonna make a little basket weave hold to hold onto the back of the leg. And we'll extend the foot up towards the ceiling. Flex your foot, point your foot, find a neutral foot, bend and bring it back down. Extend your foot up, flex your foot, point your foot, neutral foot, bend and bring it down. Beautiful, one more just like that. Send your foot up, flex your foot, point your foot, neutral foot, bend and bring it down. Release your grab, hug your knee into your chest. Take a nice big breath. And then set that foot down. We're going to take it to the other side. Left knee is going to come into the chest. Take that knee, draw it in circles, go in one direction. And then draw those circles the other way. Awesome. And then take that left knee across the body slightly, just towards the right shoulder. Take a nice big breath. And then over towards the left shoulder to the outside of the ribs. Open the hip just a little bit. Take a nice big breath. And then bring it back in and switch your grab. So find that basket weave hold on to the back of the thigh. Extend your foot up towards the ceiling. Flex your foot, point your foot, neutral foot, bend and bring it down. Nice. Send your foot up, flex your foot, point your foot, neutral foot, bend and bring it down. Awesome. One more just like that. Send your foot up, flex, point, neutral foot, bend and bring it down. Release your grab from the back of the thigh, hug your knee into your chest, and then bring your other knee into meet. So both knees hug into the chest, a nice little squeeze. And then we're going to take into some butterflies. So feet together, knees are going to draw out and away from each other. And we're just going to circle those knees around, taking them in one direction. Awesome. And then take those knees and circle them around the other way. Nice. And then when you're ready, we're going to re-grab the backs of the thighs and start to find a little rock and roll. Rock from tailbone to top of head. Take a couple of rocks and rolls just to work through the length of the spine. And then once you feel like you've massaged the length of the spine and all is feeling good, catch a little momentum, sit all the way up and find yourself into a seated ragdoll. So feet nice and bent, lift the belly, lift the chest, fold over, And just let your hands land wherever they feel the most comfortable. Soften the back of your neck, tune back into your breath here. Take one more breath. And then slowly start to walk yourself on up and in. We're going to take our legs into a crisscross diamond shape. So we're going to step the right leg in and then the left leg across. So you're just going to get a little crisscross at the ankles. And then we're going to take our hands across. So left arm is going to reach over to the right knee, right arm is going to reach over and across. And just take note of which one's on top so that when we reverse it, you'll just have your arms reversed so you work evenly on both sides. Once you've got your handhold, inhale, lift your chest, lift your chin, arch your back. Exhale, round back, hang onto those knees, and then take a moment here to notice the space between your shoulder blades. Inhale, lift your heart, lift your chin. Exhale, round back and just hang into those shoulders. Beautiful. One more time, just like that. Inhale to lift your heart. Exhale to round back. Nice. And then come to a more neutral place. Notice which arm is on top. Release your arms, switch the cross in your legs, and then we'll take it to the other side. Reach across and grab your knee. Place the other arm on top, just so you're working evenly through the back of the shoulders. And then once you feel like you've got a good handhold, right back to the breath. Inhale to lift your heart, lift your chin. Exhale to round back. Hang into the shoulders. Notice the space between your shoulder blades. Beautiful. Inhale to lift your heart. Exhale to round back. Awesome. One more breath here. Inhale to lift. Exhale to round. Nice. And then lift up to a neutral place. Release your arms, uncross your feet, step them out to about hip or shoulder distance apart. Take a couple of windshield wipers with the knees. And then from here, we're going to take it into an easy seated position, crossing the legs. But if that doesn't feel like a good way to go, any comfortable seat that allows you to sit up nice and tall. So when you feel ready, find that easy seat position. Take a second to kind of wiggle into those sit bones. Right hand's going to touch down to the ground. Left hand's going to reach up. Take a nice big side bend. Beautiful. When you're ready, lift up. Left hand touches down, right hand reaches up. Awesome. Lift it up nice and slow. Left hand's going to find the right knee, right into a seated twist, rotating just as far as you like, thinking about getting nice and tall on your inhale. And then when you're ready, release and take your twist over to the other side. Cool. And then when you're ready, unwind, come back to center into a neutral position, nice lifted spine. And then we're just going to take a couple of tick-tocks of the head side to side. So drop one ear over to one shoulder and then over in the other direction. And then just notice here, if you've picked up any tension in your hands or picked up tension in your jaw, can you invite some softness in there? Nice. One more little tick-tock of the head side to side or even yourself out. And then as you bring your head back to neutral, we're going to come back into a seated twist. So left hand's going to find the right knee, rotate a nice big rotation. And then we're going to soften that rotation so your heart is pointing towards your knee. And then once you've found that softer rotation, we're turning the head side to side, like you're looking over your shoulder. So you're just going to turn it in the range of motion that feels the safest to you. And as you turn your head side to side, can you tune in and notice any of the muscles working down the back of your body? Take one more little turn of the head side to side, and then bring your head to a neutral space so that your knee and nose is pointing towards your knee, and then just take a couple of gentle lifts of the head up and down. Nice. And then when you're ready, head comes to neutral, unwind, take your twist over to the other side. A nice big twist to start. Take your breath there. And then unwind just a little bit. So heart pointing towards the knee. And then once you've got that going on, turn your head side to side. Cool. And then when you're ready, head comes to neutral, nose pointing towards the knee, and then just take a couple of gentle lifts of the head up and down. Beautiful. When you're ready, head comes to neutral, unwind, bring it back to center. We're going to take it into an easy seated forward fold, but just a little bit. So go just about to that halfway point, that point that feels good and you feel a little gentle stretch. Maybe you tune in and notice your low back or the outer edges of your hips, but nothing feels too efforting. Take a nice big breath. Wonderful. And then when you're ready, nice and easy, walk yourself on up. And then we're going to spin it around into a tabletop position. So take your time as you come onto all fours. Make sure everything feels good and set up. Knees feel happy about the position and your wrists feel good. And then once you've got your way there, we're going to take it into some table turns. So we're just going to start to take our table and turn it in one direction. And then when you're ready, reverse directions and go the other way. Nice. And then from here, table comes to a neutral position, curl your toes under, take a couple of gentle rocks forward and back, stretch through the toes and the bottoms of the feet. Beautiful. One more rock forward and back, and then come up to a neutral table, release your toes, and then take it right into puppy pose. Walk your hands towards the top edge of your mat. Make some space for your shoulder blades. Let your chest and your forehead soften down. Take a nice deep inhale. Nice slow exhale. Big inhale and notice the buoyancy or that sort of lifting up sensation that happens with that big inhale. And then find a little softness on your exhale. One more cycle of breath. Cool. And then when you're ready, nice and easy, walk yourself back up to tabletop position. But now we're going to walk the knees closer together, toes together. So we're going to take it back like we're coming into our child's pose. So bring your butt back to your heels and then just take a second to rearrange. Make sure there's plenty of space for the belly, plenty of space for the chest. Arms are going to reach out nice and long, soften the back of your neck. Take one good breath here. Cool. And then we're going to walk our hands over and off to the left. So just finding a little bit of a side bend or side reach. Let your forehead soften down. Take a nice big breath. Awesome. And then bring it through center and then over and off to the other side. Reaching long through the arms, just finding a little reach, especially through that left arm, noticing the left side body. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, bring it all back to center. We're going to float our way on up into a tabletop position. And now we're going to step the right foot forward into a low lunge position. So maybe a little further than 90-90, but not that much. And then we're just going to lift up into a nice uplifted position and then take a second to just tune in. Make sure everything feels good in that lunge. Hands are going to come onto the hips or wherever your hands want to be. And then we're just going to lean forward a little bit and then push back. Lean forward just a little bit. And then push back. Awesome. Lean forward just a little bit and then push back. And now we're going to toe heel the foot out. So it's about 45-degree angle. It might come off the mat or might point towards the top corner of your mat. And then once you're there, lean out just a little bit and pull it back in. Lean out just a little bit and pull it back in. One more time here. Lean it out. Pull it back in. Awesome. And then toe heel the foot out even wider. You're going to go just as wide as your body likes. And then once you feel like you're there, lean out just a little bit and pull it back in. Lean out just a little bit pull it back in. Awesome. One more time there. Lean out just a little bit. Pull it back in. Stay there. Right elbow is going to come down to the knee, but we're going to keep the ribs lifted away from the thigh. Left arm, top arm is going to extend up alongside the ear. Take a nice big breath. Cool. And then we're going to spin that left hand down to the ground. And now we're going to keep our legs in that configuration and walk your body out at an angle. So your torso is coming out at that 45-degree angle. That knee is out as far as it goes to the side. And then think of your body, the top half of your body in sort of a down dog position. So we want to just see if we can let the chest and the forehead melt down, a little reach through the arms, take a nice big breath. Awesome. And then when you're ready, nice and easy, walk your hands back up, lift yourself up, toe heel that foot all the way back to the front edge of your mat. Take one little lean forward, push your way back, float your hands down to the ground, and then step that foot back. Take a second, bop your hips a little bit side to side. Nice. And then when you're ready, we're going to take that all to the other side. So you're going to step that left foot forward, maybe just a little bit further than a 90-90, but just a smaller lunge than we would do if we were doing that big crescent lunge, right? And then once you've got your way there, hands wherever they like to be, lean forward just a little bit, and then bring it back up. Lean forward just a little bit, and bring it back up. Nice. One more just like that. Beautiful. And then toe heel it out to about a 45-degree, and then away we go. Lean out just a little bit, and bring it back up, lean it out, and in, out, and in. Awesome. And then toe heel it out to the side, just as wide as feels right to your body. And then once you feel like you're there, lean out, and in, out, and in. Nice. Out, and in, and then stay there. Left elbow to the knee, ribs lift away from the thigh, top arm reaches up, get that nice big side bend, take a nice big breath. Awesome. And then that top arm or that right arm is going to spin around down to the ground and then walk yourself out at an angle. So the top half of the body walks out to that 45-degree angle, and then belly and chest melt down, forehead softens down, take a nice big breath. Cool. And then when you're ready, nice and easy, walk your hands back up and in, come back to that uplifted position, toe heel that foot all the way back to the front edge of your mat. Take one little dip forward, pull that knee back, float your hands down to the ground, slide that foot back, and then bop your hips a little bit side to side. Beautiful. And then from here, we're going to start to find our way down into a Sphinx position. So come down, elbows and forearms, elbows in line with the shoulders, hands in a parallel position. Step your feet to the back edge of your mat. Pause in that low plank position just for a moment to feel a little strength. And then when you're ready, float your knees down, release your toes, lower down so that your hip bones and your belly find the floor. And then once you found your way there, think about energetically pulling the elbows back, squeeze between the shoulder blades, pressing the hip bones down as you press up through the crown of your head. Take a nice big breath. Beautiful. And then we're going to take 3 nods of the heads here. We're going to see if we can keep the shoulder blades squeezing together and just lower your chin down and then lift your chin just slightly. Tuck your chin down and then lift your chin slightly. Tuck your chin down, lift your chin slightly, and then bring your head back to a more neutral position. And now we're going to soften up and walk our elbows nice and wide, lowering down onto the belly, wiggle out your tush, wiggle out your heels, make sure everything feels good. And now we're going to start to take it into our scorpion twist. So we're going to take it in a fluid motion from side to side. So right arm is going to reach out. You're going to roll over onto your right hip, left foot steps behind you, and then bring it right back in. Right arm slides in, left arm extends out. Roll over onto the right, or excuse me, left, right foot steps behind you, beautiful. And then roll back onto your belly. Right arm extends out, roll over onto your right. Bring it back to center as you slide that hand in, the other hand slides out, and then roll over onto the other hip. Nice. Bring it back to the belly, and we're going to do one more time each side. Right arm extends out, roll over to the right. Back to center, and then over to the left. Beautiful. And then bring it back to center, slide both hands in alongside the shoulders, elbows soft at the ribs, 3 low cobras here. Inhale, lift your heart up. Exhale to lower down. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Take one more breath. Lower yourself down, push your way up to tabletop position, and then into your extended child's pose. So big toes together, knees to the outer edges of the mat or just as wide as you like. And then bring your butt back to your heels, make some space for the belly and the chest, and then let everything soften down and just take a moment or two here to come back to your breath. Take one or two more breaths here. And then when you're ready, you'll slowly start to lift back up into tabletop position, walking the knees in so that they're in line with the hips. And then if you have to get on with the rest of your day, as it is that half-hour mark, I hope that your day is amazing. But if you're sticking around, when you feel good and ready, curl your toes under, lift up into downward facing dog, and take a few pedals of the legs here, bending one knee and pressing through the opposite heel. And then once you feel like those legs have been good and pedaled out, maybe look forward, think about walking your feet up to meet your hands into a little folded ragdoll. So feet about hip or shoulder width distance apart, knees nice and generously bent. Let your belly and chest rest on the thighs. Soften everything down. Soften the back of your neck. Soften the muscles through the back of your body. Take a nice big breath in. Nice slow breath out. And then if it feels good, maybe you catch hold of your elbows and let gravity do just a little extra work for you here, letting your elbows be nice and heavy. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, soften your hands back down to the ground. And we're going to just take it in that folded position. We're just going to walk our hands over and off the right edge of the mat. Reach a little bit through your fingers and then bring it back through center and then over and off the left side of your mat, reaching a little bit through your fingers. Nice. And then bring it back to center. Bend your knees a lot. Pull your abdominal muscles in nice and strong from your navel center. Round and roll up to a standing position. Take your time as you come on up and then give yourself a second here. Get yourself situated. Fix your clothes, fix your hair. Make sure everything feels good. Give your blood pressure a moment or two to return to normal. And then toes and knees pointing fairly forward. Feet about hip width distance apart. Hands down at your sides. Find that mountain pose here. Lift up through the crown of your head. Think about drawing the hip bones in towards each other, ribs in towards each other. So we find a little bit of a firmness in our center. Gaze forward or close your eyes and just take a nice big breath. Nice. And then just keeping your awareness down at your feet. As you inhale, just lift your toes away from the floor, spread your toes just a little bit. And then as you exhale, float your toes back down. Inhale, lift your toes up. Exhale, float your toes down. One more just like that. Inhale, lift your toes up. Exhale, float your toes down, and then we take it into the heels. Inhale and lift your heels up away from the floor. Doesn't matter how high you go, just do it with control. Exhale, float your heels down. Inhale, lift your heels up. Exhale, float your heels down. One more just like that. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, float down. Nice. Back to mountain pose. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. And now we're going to reach the arms up, grab that imaginary beach ball above your head. Exhale, sink into a little chair. Inhale and rise up. Exhale, cactus your arms, open your chest, look to the sky. Inhale, reach up, and now see if you can meet the palms together above your head or slightly away from your face, whichever feels better in the shoulders. And once you've got those palms together, if you can keep them together, sink into your chair, bring your weight into your heels, draw your tailbone down so we find that energetic center, belly pulled in, ribs drawing in towards each other, a little energy out through the arms, out through the fingertips. Take one more breath. Awesome. And then press into your feet, lift up, exhale, cactus the arms, open the chest. Nice. And then release your hands behind the back. Interlace the fingers here, draw the knuckles down, pull the arms away from the back of the body, open through the front of the chest, lift your chin, take one good breath. Beautiful. And then release those arms, float them right up and overhead, catch that beach ball again. Exhale, sink into your chair. And now we're going to bring the prayer hands together and then take it into a little twist. So left elbow is going to touch the outside of the right thigh. Bring it to center, right elbow to the left thigh. Bring it to center. Awesome. Left elbow, right thigh. Bring it to center, right elbow, left thigh, and bring it to center. Nice. One more time each side. Left elbow, right thigh. Bring it to center, right elbow, left thigh. Bring it to center, reaching your arms up as you rise up. Exhale, cactus your arms. Inhale to reach up. And as you exhale, bend your knees, hinge at your waist, fold all the way down to the ground. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, step both feet back to down dog. Pick up your heels, lower your knees, float into a tabletop position. Right leg is going to step out. We're going to take it into our gate pose. So hands to your hips, lift up into that tall kneel. Right hand down, left hand reaches up, take a little side bend. Beautiful. Now we're going to take that top arm, spin it around and down into your tabletop position, one cat cow here. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest, lift your tail. Exhale to round your back. Inhale to a neutral position, slide the right leg in, send the left leg out. So we'll take our gate to the other side. Hands to the hips, find that tall kneel position. Nice, left hand down, right hand reaches up, take a little side bend. Beautiful, and then take that top hand, swim it around and down, hands come down into that tabletop position, the left leg stays out. One cat cow here, inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest, lift your tail. Exhale to round your back. Inhale to neutral, slide that left leg in, curl both sets of toes under, exhale up to downward facing dog. Look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands, come to forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, press firm into your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. Hands to heart center. Hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold, knees bent or straight, totally up to you. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, stepping the right leg back into a crescent lunge. So heel is going to stay lifted, knee is going to stay lifted. We're going to float the fingers away from the floor, find your strength first. And then once you feel like they're there, raise your arms up and overhead. Beautiful, one more breath. Now we're going to drop that back heel as we rotate the hips. We're going to open up into a warrior two position. Cool, and then we're going to straighten that front leg and then pivot the toes. So both toes are pointing to the side of the mat. Once you found your way there, you're just going to take a couple of good little bops of the knees side to side. Notice how your knees feel. And then see if it feels better to start to rearrange the feet in a slight external rotation. So you might opt to turn your toes out to the left and to the right just a little bit to make a little extra space so that lunging feels good. Nice, take one more little lunge side to side here. And then if it feels good, you're gonna bend over, hands are gonna find the ground. And then maybe you'll take your lunge in just a little bit deeper configuration, but just make sure it feels safe to the knees and the hips. Beautiful, one more little lunge side to side or even yourself out. And then come to center, keep the legs in that slight external rotation, straighten your legs just as much as feels good, and then soften down. Let the back of your neck soften, let the back of your body soften. Take a nice deep breath in. Nice slow breath out. And then we're gonna take it into a little twist. So right hand's gonna walk underneath your nose, left hand's gonna reach up towards the sky. And then set that hand down underneath your nose, take it to the other side. Beautiful. And then release that hand down, and we're going to walk our hands through our legs, past our heels if you can, just finding a little reach through the fingers, a little reach through the arms. Take a nice big breath. Nice. And then when you're ready, walk it forward. And now we're going to pivot around on our feet. So we're going to start to bend our knees a little bit, walk ourselves around to the top edge of the mat, come back into that high lunge. Beautiful. And then plant your palms, step back to a plank. When you're ready, lower your knees down, lower with control onto your belly. 3 graduated cobras here. So start with the low cobra. Inhale, lift your heart up. Exhale to lower down. Maybe slide your hands back 1 inch. Inhale, lift your heart a little higher. Exhale, lower down. Slide your hands back 1 more inch. Inhale, lift your heart just as high as you like. Exhale, lower down. Awesome. Push your way up through a table or up through a plank, and then find your way up to downward facing dog. Look forward and walk your feet up to meet your hands. Come to forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. Press firm into your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Hands to heart center. Hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. Left leg back. We're going to find our way into that crescent lunge. So heel is lifted, knee is lifted. Lift your fingers away from the floor. Find that strength first. And then once you feel like you're there, raise your arms up. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, we're going to pivot and open into our warrior 2. So that back heel is going to drop down. We rotate the hips out to the side. Extend your arms out to shoulder height. Nice. And then straighten that front leg, pivot both toes to the side of your mat. Take a couple little bops of the knees side to side, and then see if it feels good here, either keeping your toes forward, or does it feel better to externally rotate, turning the toes out to the left and to the right. And then once you've got the version with your legs that you like best, maybe float your hands down to the ground and take those lunges a little bit deeper. And then if you're really feeling it this morning and you want that big giant lunge, you can take it all the way over to one side, maybe hands free or maybe hands on the ground, whichever variation you like. Nice. Take one more time each side, or even yourself out. And then when you're ready, bring it back to center. Straightening your legs just as much as feels good. Now we're going to take our twist a little bit further. So we're going to take the right hand over and across to the outside of the left calf or the ankle, and then extend your left arm up towards the sky. Nice. And then releasing that hand down, reaching over and across. So left hand's going to find the outside of the calf or the ankle. Right hand reaches up. Beautiful. Float that hand down, both hands on the ground. And now we're going to play around. Toe heel your feet out to a comfortable distance. So it's a little bit wider than that position you were originally in. And then see if you can walk your hands in. So maybe your hands are in line with your feet a little bit. Bend your elbows and see if you can just touch the crown of your head down to the ground. Take one more breath. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, lift your crown of your head up, walk your hands forward, toe heel those feet in to a nice comfortable position. And then we're going to walk it around to the top of the mat. So we're going to pivot our feet, bend that front knee, find your way into that high lunge. Lovely. Plant your palms, step back to plank. Bring your knees down and lower with control. Awesome. Into drunken serpent. So take your hands off the edges of your mat, nice tall cupcake hands. Inhale, lift your heart nice and high. Exhale to lower down. Right shoulder up and back. Inhale, lift that right shoulder, look over. Exhale to lower down. Take it to the left. Inhale, lift and look over. Exhale to lower down. Back to center. Inhale, lift your heart nice and high. Exhale to lower down. Awesome. And now we're going to take it into our intense shoulder stretch. So from that scorpion position, right hand is going to extend out. We're going to see about rolling onto the right hip, step the left foot behind you, let your head rest down. Take 3 nice deep breaths here. Cool. And then when you're ready, slowly and mindfully release, rolling back onto the belly, sliding that right hand in. When you feel good and ready, switching sides, left hand's going to reach out, pressing to the right arm, rolling onto that left hip if it feels good, stepping your foot behind you, head softens down, and take 3 nice big breaths here. Nice. And then when you're ready, slowly and mindfully bring it back in, rolling onto the belly. Hands are going to slide alongside the shoulders. Push your way up to a plank or a tabletop, and then find your way up to downward facing dog. When you're ready, look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands, come to forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, press firm into your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. Hands to heart center, press your palms together, elbows nice and wide. Shift your weight over to your left foot. We're going to pick the right knee up, finding just a little bit of a balance here. Cool. And then keeping your left thumb at your heart center, can you reach your right hand towards that right knee, maybe lifting it up just a little bit higher, and then swinging it out to the right, finding a little bit of control, pulling it back in, and then releasing it down. Prayer hands back together. Shift your weight over to your right foot. Press the palms, elbows wide. Lift your left knee up. Right thumb stays at the heart. Left hand reaches for that knee. Lift it up just a little higher. Swing it out to the left. Pull it back in. Release it with control as your prayer hands come back to heart center. Beautiful. And then let your hands come down at your sides. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, bend your knees, fold all the way down. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. We're going to roll into a little ball of yarn. So pick up your heels, bend your knees, tuck your butt down towards your heels, tuck your chin into your chest. Take a nice big breath. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, sit back onto your butt and we're going to take it right into our boat pose. So we're going to lift the heels up, maybe catching hold of the backs of the thighs. Make sure everything feels happily arranged. Lifting up through the back of the body, shoulders soft down away from your ears. And then see if it feels good to release your hold, reaching your arms out. Beautiful. Take one more breath. Awesome. And then float your feet down, curl your tailbone under, roll your way down to the ground. Nice and slow. Take your time. And then once you found your way down, just give it a second. Get everything situated. Make sure your back feels happy, clothes are comfortable, hair is in the right position. And then we're going to take it into some bridges here. So heels a little closer to the butt, feet about hip width distance apart, hands down alongside your hips. Inhale and just lift your hips up just as high as you like. Exhale, lower them back down. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to lower. One more just like that. Inhale, lift up. Exhale to lower. Right leg is going to come across the left into a figure 4 position. Make sure your knee, your hip, and your ankle feel happy. Hands down on the ground or elbows into the ground for a little bit of leverage, and then back to that bridging. Inhale, lift your hips up. Exhale to lower down. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to lower. Nice. One more just like that. Inhale, lift up. Exhale to lower. Keep that figure 4 position. Pick your left leg up. Reach through, grab the back of the thigh or the top of the shin, and we're just going to take that figure 4, draw it in circles, go in one direction. And then take that figure 4, draw it in circles, go the other way. Nice. And then anything that needs to be readjusted, take a moment to do so. But then when you feel good and ready, hug those legs in nice and close to your chest, soften your shoulders down, soften your jaw, make a little space for yourself here, and then let everything soften. Take a few moments just to tune back into your breath. Keeping with that figure four hold, we're going to extend the left foot up towards the ceiling. Now, right foot's going to stay flexed, but now we're going to point and flex the left foot. So we're just going to find a little bit of movement through the top and the bottom of the ankle. Nice. One more point and flex of that foot. And then find a neutral foot, bend that knee, float that foot down, release your grab from the back of your thigh, step your right foot off, hands down alongside the hips, back to those bridges. Inhale, lift your hips up just as high as you like. Exhale to lower down. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Left leg is going to come across the right into that figure four shape and then right back into those bridges. So elbows on the ground or hands down, totally up to you. Inhale to lift your hips up. Exhale to lower down. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Nice. And then pick your right leg up. Reach your hands through, maybe grabbing the back of the thigh or the top of the shin. Take your figure four, draw it in circles, go in one direction. Awesome. And then take your figure four and draw it in circles, go the other way. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, hug it in for a little squeeze, finding a little space for yourself and a little softness. So soften your shoulders, soften your belly, soften your jaw. Cool. And then when you're ready, float your right foot up towards the ceiling, keeping your left foot stationary, but we're going to point and flex the right foot. So the leg that's extended up, that's the foot we're finding some movement through. One more point and flex of that foot. And then when you're ready, neutral foot, bend your knee, float your foot down, release the grab from the back of your thigh, and then step your left foot off. Take a moment just to pause and notice how everything feels, and then right into supine twist. Pull your right knee into your chest, extend your left leg nice and long, right knee over and across the body, left arm opens out, or excuse me, your right arm opens out nice and wide, head turns to the right, take a nice big breath. Awesome. And then when you're ready, pull your right knee into your chest, bring the left knee into meet, hold on to your left knee, send your right leg nice and long. And then when you're ready, taking that twist to the other side. Left knee comes over and across the body, left arm opens out nice and wide. Maybe your head turns to the left if that feels good. Awesome. And then when you're ready, pull the left knee into your chest, bring the right knee into meet. Both knees get a little hug, a little squeeze. Cool. And then float your feet back down to the ground, toe heel them out to the outer edges of your mat. Knees drop in towards each other, pause in constructive rest, and then just take it back into a little movement into your head and your neck. So just turn your head gently side to side. Take one more little turn of the head side to side. And then as you bring your head to center into a neutral position, ask your body where would be your best Shavasana. Would it feel good to stay in constructive rest? Would it feel good to come into that more traditional shape? maybe back to that starfish with the arms extended up. So take a moment to find a position of your body that feels good and allows you to come into a little bit of stillness. As we find our way into this stillness here, we give a little time for our mind and our body to incorporate all the work that we've just done. See if you can allow your breath to return to its natural rhythm. Invite softness into your belly, releasing any tension you might be holding there. And then just let that softness radiate to the outer edges of your skin. Start to bring your awareness back into your body, becoming aware of the floor beneath you. Start to gently wiggle your fingers and your toes. Invite a deeper breath into your body. And then find some other more gentle movements, maybe moving into the wrists and the ankles, maybe finding a little bit of gentle movement out of the thigh bones or the knee joints. And then if it feels really good to do so, take a big good morning stretch. Reach your arms up and overhead, stretch from fingers to toes, take a nice big breath back into your body. Awesome. And then in your own time, in your own way, start to find your way up to a comfortable seated position. Maybe coming to Sukhasana with legs crossed or any other seat that feels good. Cool. And then once you've found your way there, just take a second to kind of settle into your sits bones. We're going to take the left hand, reach across and just put a little bit of press on the skin on the side of your neck. So we're just going to get a little handhold here. And then you're going to take a nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, if you can, just let out a little hum. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale, let out a little hum. And take one more breath here. Exhale, let out a little hum. And then when you're ready, release that hand and take it to the other side. Hand's going to reach across, putting just a little gentle press into the skin. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale, let out a little hum. Nice big breath in. Exhale and hum. One more breath. Exhale and hum. Awesome. And then take that hand and just rest it gently on your heart. Take your other hand, stack it right on top of that hand. Eyes closed or just soften your gaze. Take a nice deep inhale. Breathing in love and gratitude for yourself, for your mind, for your body, and for all of your hard work. And breathe in a little extra love and gratitude that you can carry with you through the rest of your day and share with everyone you see. And gently lift up through the top of your head, gently open your eyes. I bow to you. Happy, I don't even know what day this is. Thursday. Oh, it's Thursday already.